Welcome back, everyone, here to NECC on the B stream. My name is Camel. Joined alongside me is Cairo. Missed game one due to a bit of technical difficulties, but we are back and ready for some Valorant action. Bryant versus UMass Beacons. We can take a look at that first game. Was 13-6 in favor of Bryant. Not a single round victory for UMass Beacons on that second half of play. We'll see if that changes in the second game on Haven. It's going to be Bryant starting on defense. We can take a look at the rosters. We can look at Bryant first to see what they're cooking with here. It's going to be Penumbras, Rock, Shed, Stellar, and EF for their side. And Kyrie, you can take it away and talk about UMass Beacons.
Certainly will. Here we've got Jules, It's Bear, Sirius George, Psycho, and oh my goodness gracious me, Gernpui Maui. I mean, that's definitely a mouthful, I'll be honest, and it's probably the worst accent in the world to try and pronounce it. So UMass Beacons way, obviously looking to try and come back in this second map.
Yep, their defense was not the strongest on Split. We're going to look at the map veto here, see what these two teams were banning and picking. Ascent, Lotus off the table there first. Split was picked. We just saw that one go Bryant's way. Now we're going to go to Haven with Bryant starting on the defensive side. Fracture, Pearl were banned away, and if we do need it, Icebox will be the decider. Bryant sitting at 4-0 right now, top of the standings in their division. UMass Beacons still looking, searching for that first win of the season. A couple of close games, but sitting at 0-4, looking for their first win.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, the whole kind of conundrum on Split, where it used to be so decided, isn't so much anymore. So I guess that isn't so bad. It was Bryant's map pick. Now moving on towards this one. UMass Beacons White. Their map pick, it's Haven. We tend to see the attacker bias when we look towards the statistics from our most recent franchised and first franchised event of Lock-In. 55% attack rated attack sider bias. So it's not as attacker bias as what it used to be. Let's see what the comps bring out.
Let's see what is locked in here. Psycho already turning to the breach, was on that initially as well. See if anything else does get locked in. Already Bryant really forming their composition. Omen, Killjoy, and Jet. Sova as well there for Penumbras. Pretty standard stuff. We'll see what they do round out with the KO for Stellar. So Bryant already solving their puzzle here for the defensive side. Pretty strong on defense, I'd say. A lot of ways to deny entry. A lot of ways to avoid UMass Beacons on that attacking side. And once they do get there, a lot of intel gathering tools with that Sova and that KO.
It tends to be the kind of meta lineup here that we are seeing from Bryant. Couple of mismatches in terms of, if we're talking about meta, but won't get too far into it. The difference being the breach versus the KO. Probably more likely to see the breach, if I'm being honest, just because of that stopping ability. We know how execute focused Haven can be. 3 sites though, so I'm really looking towards these IGLs. It's an IGL's playground. You have so many lanes to play with. It's just realistically how that information gain, as you said, how good it actually is.
Yeah, I think the difference going to that breach is you're going to have one more extra way to deal with that lockdown if it does come out from Shed. You're going to have that aftershock to play with if you are Psycho. So UMass Beacons, making sure they have different tools, variety of options against some of these retaking modes from Bryant Gold. We're going to see what the setup is for this first push. Very standard, very simple. A 5-stack for a site. We'll see if it's a read. You have a KO and Sova here. You're going to at least get a dart. This might tag a lot of people.
Potentially good. Remember that aftershock, not quite full health for destroying any lockdowns. A couple of bullets traded out, so obviously we are going to see these players being fine. And already all of that utility coming offline, and let's be well, they're going to be offline as they delay this push with a fragment.
Repeat there from Stellar, has 2 players in front of him, will be forced to back away. Sirius George, more like Curious George, was struggling to find those shots, and now back. A bit of a stalemate. Eve in a very good spot. Now Sirius George finds that kill into Stellar. Eve, the timing, sensational. Trying, weaving, dashing forward, diving away. Now is good for 1. Penumbras trades it out. Littered on the site, bullets. Jules good for 2. Penumbras now in a 1v1 situation with Jules. Grabs a 3K. After the end of that, a very hectic first round on A, and it was a 5-stack. They knew it was coming. The rotations were quick, and Bryant Gold first to the punch.
Yeah, and Eve gets very, very lucky with their situation. Realistically, it's just a kind of pistol round conundrum that we do see. The KG set up towards C, which we would expect as well. I mean, there's not much to kind of bite into it after that last round, but we'll see how it goes this time round.
Well, should be read pretty well, especially on these eco rounds. Garage is always a standard place to attack from, narrow corridors where those pistols thrive, but you're going to have the Lurk Bot present. You have Eve hearing a lot of noise, and here's the initial dash in sight with the Sova drone. They're going to tag Eve. They're going to know exactly where he is. No shots yet coming onto this jet. Stellar and Shed just eviscerate this B-side push. Maybe Jules can find one kill. It's going to be a little close. We'll find Aimbot before being taken down. The 4K for Shed. 2-0, very standard. Didn't get the plant down, but did get one kill. Decent for UMass Beacons White. Now we go into the buy round. This is where it counts. This is where strategy starts to become more of a factor, Cairo.
Yeah, it definitely does. I think that last round, UMass Beacons White, they never really got to do much on the B side because of how much the frags. If we do see that push again, though, want to see them try and take in towards one of these link positions. You need to get more of a foothold in towards the site and kind of the outward trajectory of it, the kind of extremities. But as for here, looks like we are going to just see a slower round for UMass Beacons White.
It's not the worst buy in the world, because Bryant have 2 guns going into this round. They have Spectres on 3, but they have 2 Vandals. That might be a factor. And just a very slow waiting for this dart, waiting for a dagger, waiting for some sort of information to say, okay, we know at least one player isn't here. We know one player is not going to be in this location. Flash is going to be heard, though. You already see the rotations coming over. Bryant Gold are so quick to this. They're already moving Eve over to A. There's the stun. Smokes are out. They're going to push forward. Jern, Pui Mi, going to be good for one. Bear grabbing a kill onto Penumbras. It's a whitewash. Utility layered flawlessly, and now the A site's free in UMass Beacon's favor.
Post plant set up already. Eve gets a freebie. So, little gift right now. Can't get across quite just yet. Nice paranoia go through, but there's a crossfire set up, and this is one of those situations. It's just going to be extremely hard. Nice take this came through. It's a matter of time, although Eve has somehow managed to dart into the back of sight. There's a couple of frags going elsewhere. They're down to 2 rifles, maybe even less, but Spear picks up their 4th. I was worrying there for Beacons White.
The timing was almost insane for Eve there. Not going to find it, but still, great damage going into this next round. That was the bonus. We're going to get a good buy on a majority of these players. Maybe Shedistarok the Bulldog this round, but regardless, you did a lot of damage. You see on the other side, a Marshall, now a Spectre is going to be in the hands of those 2 on the bottom for UMass Beacons White. We saw what works for UMass Beacons White, and that's overloading a site, using that Sova utility, using that Breach utility to find where those players are, allow Bear to get that space to make something happen. But another good read by Bryant. They have 2 players on this C site, and that's exactly where UMass Beacons White are going to play at. So maybe you just rotate off of this, you farm the ult orbs, go for the KG ult, maybe go back towards A. We'll see what happens. Good space, though, from Eve up in window.
Yeah, already this map control being taken away, and Eve is corresponding with their team, letting them know exactly what's going on here, and these players are spring chickens ready to be cut up. The sound being cut, though, Eve has to second guess exactly what's going on. Just kind of clear out the space, as they know that no one's hit in towards B, they know no one's hit Garage, so it has to be A. And there's a confirmation from Stellar as well, but the repeat, not really advised here. Probably more looking to go for a retake.
There's no flank watch. No turret is set up right now. Eve just has to peek this. It's a freebie. First is good. Second, a little bit more difficult. Penumbras actually brings out the protractor, takes down Sirius George. The site's still a battlefield as it's going the way of Bryant Gold. Now it's Psycho. 1v5, 11 HP. He'd have to be a Psycho to win this one. The flash is there for Eve. Good flick away. And a flawless round for Bryant Gold, putting their foot down, denying that C rush. And that was the space from Eve covered. They didn't have that utility ready by Gurn Pui Mi to cover that flank, and they took advantage.
I guess the good thing is here, the kind of saving grace for the side of UMass Beacons White is the fact that its Spear does actually have the Blade Storm, so it's a nice little eco, but obviously they're going to be wanting to actually have the full team on rifles. realistically, it's Bear's going to have to be the person to be the catalyst for this round. Try and rescue a few rifles from the hands of Bryant Golden and see what they can do. But right now, UMass Beacons White aren't creating much of a default, aren't creating much of anything. And now, oh, that might be a bit rough.
A bit rough, but everyone walks away from it. Mounds of utility used over towards long. Dagger as well to clear out short. It was all fake, it was all a ruse. As B seems to be the main target, but Stellar squares away. He's good for one from about 20 yards out. Now he's going to brawl with Bear, take down the Jet. That was the one player you were talking about to maybe make an impact, and now with Bear gone, no real guns in Eve. Gonna get a little greedy, pushing forward. Psycho, is he going to get cleared? He doesn't. Oh, that was actually almost very close. Wow, okay. All right, we're there. Psycho got the kill. And it's now a 3v4, still an Omen ult to play with, but it's a 4v3, and these players, again, Cairo already rotating over. Everything is being read by UMass Beacons White.
It's not only that, you talk about rotating through, they're not fully committing to it either, because they don't know if it's going to be a recommittal through. Although, with the players out on long, we can only assume so. The players on Bryant Gold, not so sure. The smoke's going out just in case to ensure that the site is safe. Info dart ready. It is going to have to be a spot check for Penumbras. Just trying to escape to play for the retake, although being pinged out. Paranoia through. Not quite finding it. Penumbras getting out safe.
And plant just about goes down. How do you get back into this one? Stellar gets caught with his pants down. Aimbot and Penumbras able to push out. The start's going to get a couple. Not quite. Jules, she'll take the peek. Everyone goes down swinging. And again, Bryant Gold on these retakes. So well done with that null command. Everything sets up for them to win.
Easy as that. Easy as that. Realistically, I mean, that's just the way it goes. The good thing is, it wasn't eco. They've tested the limits, they've tested the boundaries somewhat. They know exactly, but, you know, honestly, UMass Beacons White, I want to see them start to have set utility at the start of the round. What are they going to do, rather than just kind of looking at execute focused out. If it doesn't work, let's walk away. That way they can start to break this default and try and take their opponents off guard. We're not seeing that just yet in the first 5 rounds. Hopefully it starts from the 6th.
That's an operator coming in for Eve. It's going to be a long. The extremity will be cleared. Good info regardless. And Stellar somehow finds Sirius George lacking in garage. That's already your main source of intel gathering gone, Cairo. Where do you go from here? You have to rotate back, but it's exactly what Bryant Gold want. You want to peek into the op. They're going to go right into Eve's hands. Is B the target? We'll see how they play this one out. They have a KJ lockdown as well to play for. Slowly moving up towards A-Long.
I think the interesting thing here for UMass Beacons White is the fact that the breach is the reason why the breach is so powerful is the kind of how good it is on defense as well. I mean, Bryant Gold, the reason why the KO is so much better on the attack is going to be so interesting once we get to that stage, but at this moment in time, I mean, the breach is going to have to initiate. Those flashes going to have to be powerful. We're really going to have to put the team on their back, and well, the KJ locked down, clearing a lot of the space, and then Bryant Gold respecting it.
Right here.
And they were confident just playing the retake. They could Hunter's Fury this. They don't want to. The timing. Eve will get detained, but he shouldn't be punished for this. Now the Hunter's Fury going to be used to deny the plant. Really smart from Bryant Gold. They know time is not on UMass Beacon's side. Good concuss to counter. 19 seconds. Plenty of time for Psycho to get this plant down. Shock darts go wide. Now, how do you get back onto the site if you are Bryant Gold? Good dagger to scan. Will be denied. Jules will be taking down aimbot. Smoke's gone. Dart will get a good scan out. Stellar, good for one. The repeak is there. No crossfire to be had. The spray from Bear. He's good for one. Not good for two. Eve with this operator stuck on automatic. They peek into A. It doesn't matter. You can use the lockdown. You can use whatever you want. But the retake, again, from Bryant Gold. They're confident taking these retake scenarios. Especially there. They're just playing the trades really well.
Yeah, they are playing the trades well. I mean, realistically, a lot of utility in terms of all the stuff going on towards the site. I mean, paranoia, etc. Stuff just really working out. And, I mean, this is what we need to see. A timeout. UMass Beacons White taking a step back and trying to assess what's going wrong. Because, I mean, at this moment in time, everything's going wrong. I've already spoke about what I see from UMass Beacons White. And, again, I'm still not seeing it. This set utility, this kind of fact-finding mission. You've already found out that the Jet's going to be long on A with an operator. The KJ playing in towards C. I mean, realistically, you kind of try and challenge, maybe walk up and kind of destroy some KJ utility, see what the reaction is from Bryant Gold, but it's just being focused on the execute for UMass Beacons White, and Bryant Gold can just rotate, as you say. They're so quick on the rotate. Well, I mean, there's no reason for them not to be quick.
And if I'm UMass Beacons White, I think here is where you play for that rolling thunder. You go towards B. You know that ETH is going to be either A or C with that op. That's already something you can rely on. But B has seemed a little weak. They're fast the rotates. Maybe you sow a dart A, you get that rotation early, then you rolling thunder on the B, get that free sight. But right now, UMass Beacons White not really recognizing those fast rotations. See if they can do it here. We'll see if that timeout helps them recuperate, regather themselves. Like you said, it has been a lot of very fast takes from UMass Beacons White. Again, going back to this slow, methodical play, but ETH hawking down A long, waiting, anticipating one of these players to peak, especially with that cloud burst early on. Play off this dash. Nothing really of this, but look at that great space up into garage. That could be something that they focus on going into this round.
Could be. Just taking their time here, slowly finding out what's going on, which I like so much more. This fact-finding mission, I found out that the Sova is in towards B. The Omen being found, but this is something that they could play with. Not something that, I mean, they really are playing with what Bryant Gold have in terms of information. They're going to bust through garage, destroy the turret. It's going to look towards going in towards the C hit. Stellar being left in towards mid. Finding that plus pick is massive.
And they're forced now to just funnel into the C site. Aimbot in a great position. Penumbras and Shed get 2 kills their own. That's a complete disaster. And there, again, they were forced into that garage play. They had 2 players pincering them from B main. And Stellar, as soon as he gets that kill onto Gurn Puimi, there's not much you can do if you're UMass Beacons White. You either have to go for the flanker and kill Stellar, you have to push into C, and there was already decent space. We're dealing with the Shed utility. We're dealing with a lot, so very tough for UMass Beacons White. Now going back to pretty unfortunate buy. They're going to have a lot of Spectres. And again, I mean, you're saving that Rolling Thunder for what? Valorant 4? You got to use it eventually. See what they turn to. Again, back towards this garage area, but I think KO, with that knife, it's going to tag a few, and that's already good information. The Sova, he's not going to play alone. Here's a ton of footsteps. Early peek. In trouble. Stellar somehow gets away with murder. Psycho goes down. No trade to be had. And a lot of players are damaged. Back to the B site they go. Smokes are going to litter B. But you can't play off this car. You just have to back away.
I mean, they've committed a smoke through it, but what has it actually done? Like, what are Bryant Gold going to think about that smoke going down? It's another issue. I mean, it's expending utility when you don't necessarily need to. This is another big problem that I'm seeing from UMass Beacons White. Bryant Gold, realistically, not got much to think about here. Once the spike slowly makes its way towards C, KG utility still up, still ready. They're going to tag up the KG, but they're not getting much from it.
Very disciplined. Take that and run away. You know Stellar's going to be there with the trade. Gurn Puimi doesn't expect that second player. Stellar, one more flash to play with. And already the rotation's back. 34 seconds. Noise being made. They're going to end C. This is going to be so difficult, and Shed takes down its bear. Long-range logistics for the Killjoy. Do a 4v2. Do they expect the second player? Serious George caught with the drone out, caught with the knife out, caught with the darts out. He's in trouble, looking for that spray. ETH, one more peek in a dream. The no-scope goes wide. And Penumbras takes him down. Serious George will fall 7-1, bolstering this defensive hold. They're going back towards garage, and it's not working, and they got to do something with this Rolling Thunder. Obviously not this round because the buy isn't really in their favor, but you save here, go into that next round, and play for a fast retake. The one round they won, yes, Bryant Gold were on weaker guns, but it didn't matter. The utility was there in the right spot. The aggression was there from its bear, and he was playing off of that breach utility. I want to see more of that from UMass Beacons White and just trust themselves, being more confident, because right now, it just feels like they're lacking confidence in a lot of these rounds.
Yeah, they are really walking with trepidation. I think that's totally correct. Stellar and Aimbot, though, they're not making them have much to go off of in terms of confidence. I mean, UMass Beacons White are throwing the kitchen sink, but maybe the kitchen sink might stick. stick in the wall somewhat. Penumbrous in towards the link position, just clearing it out, and already found in at least one of the two there.
Good dodge. Shock dart narrowly missing its spare 30 HP in a dream. The repeat.
Last player standing.
And it's just too easy for Penumbra. So now, Gurn Puimi, I know exactly where she's at. She'll waddle onto the site aimlessly, right into Shed's crosshair. 8-1. And again, you know, I mean, that was confidence, but sometimes, you know, sometimes the bullets don't go where you want. that's unfortunate. But you're gonna save here, and I think next round you're gonna full buy. You're gonna have Jet Knives, Cairo. You're gonna be able to play off that Hunter's Fury, Omen TP, Rolling Thunder. I want to see an aggressive take in this next round.
I mean, we've seen aggressive takes every single round. It's just that when it comes to the gunfights, I've not been winning it. Again, that's what I've just kind of been saying in terms of, like, it depends how you determine your aggressive take or kind of define your aggressive take. Realistically, they've not been able to deal with the aggression that's come their way, and there's exactly point A there.
Sun's there. Gurn Puimi now locked in this corner with her turret. Swing out from aimbot, and that's the spike. Smoke's gonna be out. Stellar grabs one, grabs two. Space is there. Eve secures Sirius George. And right now, a jubilated Bryant Gold 9-1 in this first half, and they're not slowing down at all. And this is where the ultimates are going to be a factor. Obviously, Bryant Gold are expecting this, and they're going to put Eve back on A. The operator is going to get this peek, and Cairo, say your blessings. Count them right now for UMass Beacons White. We'll see if they can get pie of this. We'll see if they can use any utility to force Eve off early with some of that breach stun or maybe a dart.
Already they are picking out in towards shot though, so let's hope so. Let's hope that they are going to be able to dissuade the Jet from swinging out. Pings towards long as well. That is going to be where we are going to see a smoke go out, just to try to gain control of long, but it is also forfeited an ultimate orb. All 5 ultimates available for Bryant Gold in this situation, and they are going to slowly clear out A, but already Bryant Gold going in towards a retake position, and we can see that with the Jet heading towards heaven. Oh, the ultimates already coming through. The Rolling Thunder, Hunter's Fury, and a null command. Penumbra's putting everybody to the sword at this moment in time. UMass Beacons White down to 3 already.
Bryant Gold controlling every part of the map, and this KJ utility's down due to that null command. Operator from Eve has been insane. Now he's gonna pop knives, look to go aggressive. Flicks onto the skull of Psycho, bludgeons the breach. And Sova the same fate from Penumbra. 10-1. And that was the ultimate. That was the Rolling Thunder. You still have 3 to play with. What do you turn to though?
Yeah, it's a lot of ultimates to expend, a lot of big ultimates as well. I guess the only saving grace for UMass Beacons White is the fact they only expended 1. Still 4 for them to go, but I mean, realistically, the lockdown's still there. It is still massive for Bryant Gold. An ace up the sleeve, you have to say. And they can trade that out easily, even if Gern Fuimui gets it into that situation, but that's a big if.
In they'll go. Hunter's Fury in conjunction. Bear looks to go aggressive. Plunges into the C site and gets taken down, and that's a heartbreaker for Bear. Good kills, though, from Psycho and Gurn Puimi. This is the first opportunity we've seen UMass Beacons White in an advantageous spot. Good chip damage from that shock dart. And a lockdown as well to really secure this round. There's nothing to deal with this. This is time just being burned off the clock. Aimbot has to win this 1v1 with Jules to make it count. And at least make it interesting. He knows multiple players are going to be in this location. Sirius George with the swing and the kill. Now a 3v2 in trouble. The operator will push out from Eve. We do. Misses that first shot, and that's his death sentence most likely. Peek again. 3 more bullets in the chamber. Now going to swap to the Sheriff. He knows 1 more player's at least on the site, somewhere close. He's going to go for this long player. They're just playing with him at this point. Great shot from Eve. Looks for the flick. It will be a win for UMass Beacons White. Finally, they figure it out. They take that C site 10-2 after 12. We move into the second half.
Switching sides.
Yeah, moving in towards the second half. Realistically, looking at this one, damage may already been done from Bryant Gold. Hopefully not the case as UMass Beacons White and Bryant Gold move on to probably their more favoured of the two sides. The only thing is that's always worrying is the fact that the bias is towards the attacking side for Haven. Not too much, but it is enough to worry about if UMass Beacons White, let a few rounds slip. Pistol round has to be won. It's a necessity here for the defending team.
Yep, got to put your best foot forward here. Especially on this pistol round, like you said. Just take it one round at a time. That's really all you can do at this point, especially when it's this much of a deficit. Got to play your style. Early scan. We'll tag the short player. Start for long. Great info. No, nobody's in these narrow angles. Push back. Serious George in the whole world of trouble will be tagged up. Good chip damage, and they're going to take this right now. Into the site they go. Stellar and Shed deny any semblance of this pistol round when going UMass Beacon White way. Earn Puime, a classic and a dream, and a 1v3. Going to be so difficult. No way to really get onto the site. No turret to play with either. 7 seconds, just about. Lots. One player. Start will come out. There's the swing. Shed the 3K. Earn Puime can only absorb so much pressure. Taken down 11-2, and you're gonna force up, obviously. And maybe you go for a play-out garage. Try to work with that vault line, maybe into a dash from Bear. At this point, it's really just about hitting your shots at this point.
It really is. It's about hitting something. UMass Beacons White, well, they're going to really need to, I don't know, hit the stars, I guess. That's kind of where we're at. Bryant Gold forcing up, and they're even buying rifles in the lights. If they can get... Yeah, this is going to be a really tough one.
Taking on it, Bear getting one, and he doesn't do that. The shorty gets Shed down to 31 HP, but that's not a kill, and that's what matters. The Phantoms and the like going to be used. Maybe a shock dart from downtown could secure 1 or 2 kills. They stack up in the right way, and Psycho peeked out just a little too far. Take down Serious George, and this is going to be a problem. Eve doesn't want to give over a Vandal, doesn't want any glimmer of hope. The UMass Beacons White. Shots aren't there. Stellar will get a 3K at the end of it all. So they're playing for the OT. 10 rounds in a row. Get your cameras out. This is it. Greatest comeback in NECC history right here, right now. We're going to buy up. We got to see what happens. I mean, again, it's really just about Penumbras, Stellar using their early utility, finding that space. And then you see Eve and Aimbot just pummel into the site together as one. There's not much you can do, especially when you know nobody's close to you. You have that sense of confidence, that safety to take those fights, take those angles, especially when Aimbot's been using this utility so effectively. 14 assists on the Omen, staying positive, using those flashes in a great way. And again, they're going to tag up Serious George. They're going to know exactly where he is. And look at the space already being made up and through mid as well towards B. Jules doesn't find the shot. She'll go down. And the B site's actually being taken as we speak.
Oh no. Azif just lurks in the shadows. They know there's a player up the back. Should do now, and does. That's so rough. 2 players left trying to rescue it all, clamber it back, and they might do so with how low people are on health. Couple of shot darts coming through, but Aimbot puts those hopes to the grave.
This is going to have to do it. There. Weaves out of the shock dart. Recon will be spotted. Tries to time it. Smoke and Aimbot gets the 3K. Ends it. An admirable effort from UMass Beacons, but Bryant Gold just too much to deal with at the end of the day. That's going to do it for us here. 13-2. A dominant victory for Bryant in game number 2. Game 1 was a lot closer, 13-6, but just ran out of gas towards the end of that game for UMass Beacons White, and that'll do it for us 2-0 to end this series.
Yeah, I think UMass Beacons White, I think a lot of it's focused on executes. When you move into World's Comp, sometimes like these team environments, 5 stacking, it's a totally different game from what you're used to on Comp. What we'll be looking for there is kind of playing with your defaults, playing with some ideas of what your opponents are set up. Like you see the KJ setting up for Garage, just go and destroy the kind of utility. See what happens after that, what the reaction is. We didn't see much of that, unfortunately. And on the attack in half, I mean, fell short.
Fell short indeed. More games to come, though. We're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, it'll be Marks and Orbital taking it to you for the next series, which will be, just so I have it for you, Newberry College versus UNCG 300. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after a quick break.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the NECC Valorant Challengers League. My name is Marks. This is Orbital. No, Orbital, how you doing? You're looking a little fancy tonight, huh?
I'm feeling good. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I appreciate the compliment. But I'm excited because it's the start of a new week. We are past the halfway point, and we're getting ready for our 5th week of Valorant. We've already seen so many amazing games, and I mean, I'm right here with you, you spectacular man as well. You look awesome over on the other side, so I'm excited.
I'm literally just wearing a t-shirt and a hoodie, but you know what? I'll take the compliment. You gotta take whatever you can get. But we've got a really interesting match up today. It's going to be Concordia St. Paul Gold up against Northern Alberta Institute of Technology. And honestly, one of these teams has a much better record than the other. But still, I'm curious to see how this one is going to be playing out.
Yeah, so right now, Concordia St. Paul Gold, if we can go ahead and get the roster on screen, they are a team that are currently 1-3. Now, of course, one of them was unfortunately an FF Firebird Gaming Club. Of course, that can happen, but Vista, Volo, Big Z, Cookie Dough, and Goosey are going to be rounding out that lineup, and they are looking to try and cement themselves. They need at least 2 wins, I would say, if they want to bounce in that middle. 3 wins total to bring the record to 4-4 over the course of the season if they really want to make it I want to say an efficient way to get into that playoff standing.
Yeah, and if we head over to the Northern Alberta Institute of Technology, take a look at our roster over here. These are the people who have been more or less just playing every single game thus far. It's Kiro, Ayo, Hasty, Non-Taken, and Resurrection coming in. And once again, this team, they're currently 3-1. They've had a pretty dominant victory streak up until they lost up against DSU Valorant last week. So let's see how this one plays out. But I mean, hey, if you had to pick a favorite, this is going to be one of those teams that you want to be keeping an eye on.
There's even twofold to that, personally, as we get to the maps now, and I'm very, very excited because the maps are going to be excellent. I love it, especially, yes, even with Gecko coming out and the hype around Gecko, I love the fact that we're getting Lotus, Icebox, and Haven. Lotus and Icebox, obviously, 2 maps that, you know, people still are getting used to. Icebox, not so much, of course, that one's been in rotation for quite some time, but the fact that we get Lotus first makes me extremely happy. And this might be the chance to see someone kind of thrown off their game. Lotus is still one that, if you have not practiced, it can bring a lot of variety and a lot of uniqueness and hopefully a lot of harbor. But I want to see teams step up here. I want to see individuals kind of prep themselves. But of course, as we were saying, NAIT, the team that literally just lost last week and they had their perfect season ruined, I expect them to come out with a little bit of fire this week. Like, there is going to be some, like, we got knocked down last week, we ain't letting it happen again.
Yeah, you know, you're coming in, you just got to be like, all right, got to just reset the mental, and we're going to come in here, and we're going to steamroll the other team. So, yeah. Very curious how this one's going to be working out, but at the same time, you know, it's now week number 5, and, you know, we're coming fresh off of VCT lock-in wrapping up, which, once again, going to that Lotus pick, this is a map that we saw a lot of teams just in the tournament pick as well. And so the strategies have just started to explode out. So many of these different teams are trying out different things and seeing what can really stick. So the fact that we're seeing Concordia go for Lotus right off the bat, that tells me that maybe, you know, spend some time in the kitchen. They got something cooking up.
Let them cook. Let them cook. Whether it comes out burnt or not, that's up to them, unfortunately. We are on the way, though. And of course, that I do not believe is the right map. I don't think we're going... I really hope that's not it, because I want to see Lotus. I want to see Lotus so bad. But we are, you can already see what they were hoping to go for. You can see the cipher. You can see. All right. So we do get a word.
Hey, there we go.
Hey, we're good. All right, we force it. We're good. But that was very entertaining to me, at least. It was very, very entertaining. I like it, though. Standard across the board, right? We see the cipher. We see the breach. We see the Viper. These are almost tried and true. I would say I am sad that we aren't seeing the Harbor. I think Harbor is excellent right now. And of course, you know, with all the VCT craziness going on, I know you were talking about it before, Marks. I'm sad that we're not seeing it right now.
To be completely honest with you, I actually don't think that Harbor Lotus is necessarily the map pick for him, because a lot of the strategies that were kind of coming out when you bring that Harbor into rotation is you're looking at this double wall, just cut things out completely, scissor it all up, make sure that you've also got a neon to really just cut the ways down. But you know what, we're seeing very stock standard compositions kind of coming out of this one. A lot of these teams at the tier 1 level were going in very hard onto C, very aggressive. They had a ton of set plays. And if we don't necessarily see that preparation coming in from these teams, then that can kind of fall apart because he is a really hard site to hit. But what I am interested to see, especially, is Cookie Dough with the Astra pick. Personally, I think on this map, Astra gets a little bit more value than Omen. Those stars can be pretty annoying, and especially to play the long game. Whereas Omen, you got to rely on a lot more mobility. Get yourself around the map, and especially with a map like Lotus, such tight corners, that can be a little bit tricky at times.
I can agree with that. But don't, I believe in the micro mechanics that an Omen will bring over an Astra, because an Astra, you set the stars, you let them go, and then your team follows up or you follow up. Omen is in that moment, so it's give and take. It's give and take. Maybe I played Omen when I first started. I don't, you never know. You never know. But
Omen lives in the moment,
I mean, I'm still a Harbor man at heart right now. So, whether that's bad or not, you take up your own pick. But we are going to see these two, and I am excited to see the differences that they're going to come out with. Again, this is Lotus. This is, if you have not practiced it to a very large extent, we're going to have some questions. We are going to sit there and go, how are you going to be maneuvering around the site? And you can obviously see right now a little bit of a change up. It's all 5 stacked right now for NAIT.
Ooh, already a lot of utility coming out there. We're going to be seeing Volo go down first. Goosey trying to escape, not able to do it. Turns out that Omen pick, just the right thing to get yourself into the perfect position. And just like that, this should be an easy site take for Nate, but they're taking a lot of damage on the way in. The smokes are going down, but the spike should be planted shortly.
I mean, they got a Sky. They're not too worried about some of that fragment damage. And granted, the Omen did get the kills, but it was just a very nice setup by them. They did not stop. They pushed all the way through, and Concordia St. Paul Gold were not ready for it. So very well thought out, very well played. And I will always say I favor teams that like to gun check opponents very quickly. Just like that, Caro takes another kill. Vista is down. Cookie Dough was able to grab one. But it is going to be that finisher. Nate are sitting with 4 alive. That is a great first round to have.
And actually, Concordia, they looked a little bit scattered. They didn't know necessarily how to retake that site A, which those extra seconds allowed for Nate to get themselves set up. And that post plant, it was a little bit more aggressive, but you could just tell that when you're firing that confidently, you want to take the aggression into the defenders. So an excellent first round coming in there. Very fast hits, just a lot of utility being used right off the bat, but it works out perfectly for Nate. Let's see if they do it again, though. They will have the gun advantage here, but, I don't think they need to invest as heavily to get as much ground.
Well, of course, they got to take a bit of time here, and we know how this second round usually goes. We kind of know how it pans out. Unless Concordia want to set up some craziness, you can go ahead and see the Cypher rounding out on the side, all the way back in attacker spawn. So if you get the wraparound, you are able to find that spike holder.
Oh,
that might be nasty, but you're seeing it right there. It is. Caro gets a sleeper. That is Caro swinging onto Big Z and Vista are going to go down. Cookie Dough finds a yo, but it's still a 4v3, and I mean that bodes very well for Nate.
Cookie Dough just around the corner here. Hasty's able to find one off to the side. Gonna find all the players. Volo going in deep, can't even get one. Nate, they walk away with 4 of their weapons, enough to make the next bonus nice and easy. Very good just discipline coming in from this team to slow the play down and figure out where they really wanted to go.
I love it. I love exactly what they did there. It was very smooth, very concise, and again, they were respectful of what Concordia could have done. Caro there, really, really smart and hanging back saying, hey, look, they're going to try something here. They're going to try something funky, and it gathered 2 extra kills. And now Nate gets to run into this with full Spectres still really alive. Very, very impressed. And Concordia, this is your big chance. The first 3 rounds, this is how it usually goes. Let's see if they can break it down.
Volo immediately under pressure here. Excellent just double swing coming in from Nate. Can't look both ways with that Vandal. Now Cookie Dough going to be alone here, trying to hold down the site. All of the utility being used. The flash is going to be live. Cookie Dough can't secure the first kill. Actually is able to find one, make it 2. Finally, Kiro runs it down with the Spectre. Spray and Pray wins the day. Goosey able to find Ayo. And just like that, Nate down to 2. But they should be able to at least get the spike down. Never mind, Kiro actually overextended here. Hasty hanging out inside the flash. Gets caught with the bird in hand, and Big Z, well, the early bird does get the worm, able to find the shot onto Hasty and closes it out, getting Concordia on the board.
Oh, that was super unfortunate there. To have the orb fall just at that time, and to sit there and go, gosh, dang it, I could have done something, but you had util out. Well played from Concordia. They feel good about that one. They're able to get some kills on the board, and now we actually get to see Valorant played. Granted, of course, you're rocking Cookie Dough, sitting with a Ghost, and then a Marshall on the other end. but we do get to see what they can bring to the table. You can see Vista setting up, and it's a default setup for them. Nate, though, still rushing on that A side with the short-range teleport as well, bullying their way into this A side.
And this is just really, the utility from Nate is just so good. We talk about a lot of these set plays. Well, this is exactly how you want to be using things. You see the smokes, the fault line, the flashes, it's all so coordinated, and it just makes things so much easier. Ayo, on the lurk here, it spots out the trap wire, doesn't quite activate it, waiting for Cookie Dough to swing around the corner, but meanwhile, the rest of Nate are just making their way onto this A site. Volo, as the tailwind popped, looking for an opportunity, actually finds a shot. I think that was actually in movement, but it's all for naught. Nate just clean that one up yet again, very dominantly, and keep their 4 Vandals into the next round.
Hey, you'll take that one. It feels good to swing hard on that round, but so far, Nate are not letting up at all. They drop one round, an expected round, but with Vandals and Phantoms in hand, they have not strayed at all, and you can tell, even their gameplay, their overall gameplay has not strayed from a very systematic push system. They have not actually defaulted. They've not really sat back and said, okay, we're gonna wait to see if Concordia decides to push. We're gonna wait and see if they decide to push up or, you know, give themselves some time. They are just continuously pushing on this A site, saying, we've made it work so many times and Concordia have not adapted yet.
Oh, and let's just take the aggression right to them. Volo able to find one, but Goosey goes down in the exchange. Still Nate, 4 members still alive. They're gonna be a little bit less flashes. I think that's quite all right, considering you got this guy as well. Volo gonna get eaten up by the Trailblazer. A little bit of damage, 45 HP left. Looking to potentially deny this spike. That could be huge, but not able to do so in time. Now stuck in a weird position. Both the members swinging around at the right time. Hasty able to just take that one out. No kills found. Now Concordia just down to a 3v4 situation. Things are not favoring them thus far.
This is looking a bit rough. Cookie Dough trying to lay down a couple stars and open up some space, whether it be blocking off vision, but AO said, not today. I got my cam and it's perfect. So though, able to find AO, Vista swings on 2, and Cookie Dough gets another, and all of a sudden it's in their favor. Concordia with a beautiful play from Vista owns up, and Concordia take a second round.
And that was honestly just kind of good. You could tell that Nate, they were looking in different directions, and you saw the mouse flying around the mouse mat. Just different entries from Concordia. And quite frankly, I don't think Nate was expecting that at all. You could tell that they were like, all right, they got to be pushing together. There's 3 of them. They got to be coming in together, make sure that they can trade effectively. There's no way they just go one at a time. Well, apparently that works out. You just got to time it. Make sure you're coming in at the same time, and then it's just going to work out. Those angles will favor you heavily. As we move into this next round, though, Orbital, 3 ultimates online for both these teams. I'm curious to hear what you think about it.
You know, it's I ain't got no words. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not too knowledgeable in that area. Listen, I play in the low rankings. We don't talk about this stuff. So, but I do expect Concordia to bolster up, and you can see them. They are getting aggressive once again. Right there in the doors is gonna swing Goosey. Unfortunately loses that gun duel, and Nate are right back in the driver's seat, but this is exactly where they were last time as well.
Such good info.
The neural theft, it does not give enough, so Resurrection says not today. Volo goes down. Resurrection gonna drop from the shadows, get a huge teleport over to C.
Big Z, excellent timing, actually drops the spike as well, and that just completely foils Nate's plan. They're completely spread out around the map, and right now they just got to be careful about that raised player. Concordia might be able to snag this round just yet, but they have to be extremely careful. If a little bit of timing does not favor them, things could go array. Vista peeks out there. Resurrection, though, able to find the headshot, and now Big Z has to make some big moves, but could walk right into a trap wire. A couple of stray bullets are going in there, but this is going to be a solidified 1v3 scenario. Big Z goes, takes out that trap. Now going to be running down, but once again, that raised player is going to be deadly.
It's a scary moment there, but a good block. Allowed to keep walking, so Big Z is going to be able to hit that doorway. Now take a look. Where do you get to go here?
1v3 scenario. Keep in mind,
it's dicey.
The paranoia, I'm pretty sure, still online for Resurrection. So non-taken gets that first peek. Big Z able to win that one out. Good staggering coming in from the remaining 2. AO goes for the swing. It'll close that one out. They had a bit more utility if they needed it, but not going to be the case this time around.
And you know, Nate, they shorted up. They said, okay, we knew exactly what went wrong there. We are going to appropriately plan, and once again, it's just the clean gun duels that they have. CSP have not been able to find their opportunities outside of Vista, getting a very, very nice and available 2K at the very end in that round number 5. They haven't been winning the initial gun duels. It's really been Nate. If any of the opponents match up with each other, it's Nate winning it over and over again. But untaken. Try and do what their own, and there it is again. Big Z actually got a shot off, but was not able to get the kill.
And now that B side is open, you can tell that the defenders are trying to make their way in. They think that this is definitely where the spike planters are going, but meanwhile, that just opens things up perfectly. Ayo looking for one, able to find two, and still able to escape as well. Goosey only has a shorty in hand. I'm gonna have to pick up another weapon if they want to make this possible, but it's 1v5, not looking good.
I mean, you can try something, right? And good peek, good peek. Peek again, gets a headshot. Man, yep, you know, a headshot with the classic ain't gonna do as much as you would hope. Flawless round for Nate in a save round from CSP, which, you know what, that is understandable. Now they get to come out with the full artillery. I like it. I like seeing this here. Volo, of course, going with that operator. It's gonna be big bang headshots. At least body shots is what they're on the prowl for.
And this is really interesting, actually, because a lot of ultimates still online for Nate as well. And once again, if they want to make sure to punish the economy of Concordia, then they're going to use their ultimates to make sure that they don't win this round. But Concordia, on the flip side, they've got 3 online as well, and they need to push every advantage that they can get. Otherwise, they're going to get themselves into a precarious situation. The Viper's Pit is going to start things out here as Nate get themselves lined up, but that showstopper could be the thing that fishes that Viper out of this green sea.
There are a couple angles that you can actually dance on, but Ayo said we don't need to. We just need to clear out some of the other areas. Ayo won against Cookie Dough. And it's going to open up an opportunity. Now Volo chasing on behind inside of B, but the rest of the team is not there. So you are a bit worried. Volo just staring down into blank space. The call of the ulti. Once again, this Seeker is running away. Found one. Volo spotted out. Now chase right into. No, you do not get to survive from that. Ayo still doesn't get the kill.
There he is.
Oh my gosh. Ayo took so long that Vista was able to rotate around, pick up the frag there, and it's a 4v3.
Slowly making their way in. Aftershock gonna delay things just a little bit longer. Vista gonna get trapped out here. Vista's been doing an excellent job finding frags. Rolling Thunder gonna be used first. Vista gonna be moving in. Saw someone just on the right there, but it doesn't matter. Hasty still able to find it. Rolling Thunder comes out in response. It's all slipping through Concordia's grasps because he can't see anything. Doesn't matter. Headshots galore for Nate. You get one, I get one. Everyone gets a headshot. And Nate, they have 4 members alive at the end of that brawl.
Not just that, they utilize and pulled 2 ultis out of Concordia. And that's huge, right? You only expended one of yours. You only expended this, the Seekers as well as the Rolling Thunder. But you had those up and available, right? Now Ayo has the Neural Theft. Now you have the Showstopper, which we had talked about before. Could have flushed out Big Z, but it wasn't necessary, right? Very, very well done from Nate. And they're still on a roll. 3 rounds in a row, and it doesn't feel like they're going to stop anytime soon.
They're lining up. They want to take this C hit. You can tell that Nate had a strategy prepared, but the Viper's Pit just completely shut it down. This time, though, they know they've got the weapon advantage. They're just doing the metrics. A lot of information gathered. Vista knows that they're coming in here, but look at this. Perfect utility coming in, but Cookie Dough able to take non-taken out of the air. Kiro's able to find 2 as Ayo finds Volo. Now Neuro Theft going to be on the line. A little bit more information. As the spike will go down, it's going to be 2v4 onto this retake.
I like how Kara was like, do I really want to plant? I saw a couple bodies sitting around there. The Neural Theft giving that away. It gives a lot more than just that. Look at that setup with a little bit of a swing. Goosey ready with the headshot, but Kara takes out Big Z. Resurrection finishes off Goosey 7-2 here, as Nate are wasting no time building up that lead.
And I'm going to be honest with you. You know, we talk about those set plays with utility, how you want your agents to engage. And Nate, they've been to the library. They're doing their studying. They've completed their homework. Every single execution onto these sites looks so rehearsed and practiced. The placement of the fault line matches up perfectly where the smoke is placed. The flashes come out perfectly just as we get to see the rays fly through the site, get all of that space. And Concordia, they have the right ideas on this defense, But unfortunately, it doesn't seem like they're as rehearsed as Nate are on how to prevent these attacks from happening. And this time they're taking a little bit more gusto here. Resurrection falls down a little bit early, but Hasty trades it right back. Snape gonna be going out. Big Z in a very bad position as Kiro just sweeps up to Nate. They have a one-person advantage now, but Concordia aren't out of this just quite yet.
They'll fight to the bitter end. They've been fighting the entire time, and we really haven't seen them slink back from a fight, you know, for as many times as Nate have been able to gather those early frags. Concordia are still going at it, and I really do appreciate that. They are not giving up heart at all. Very nice plant, though, on that back wall, and just saying, hey, you know, you got to come to us either way and look at the flank. You can see on the other side, Nate sending that Cypher on a other path. AO is looking for it. Oh, have the knife out, please. Have the knife out. You know you can do this. Come on. You gotta see it. Oh no.
Timing.
The way back, and Volo said, hey, yo, you can't do that to me.
Vista on the site, drops down the camera, gets the information there, but Kiro's still able to walk away with murder. Volo, signing probably best to save the operators while a fault line comes in. Makes things a little bit more difficult. Might be able to at least get one. Not going to be the case this time around. Nate looking absolutely stunning on this attack just quite yet. And I think the key that's unlocked it all is AO on the flank. That has made things incredibly difficult for Concordia to do anything on the defense.
Yeah. I mean, they're even reading it, but the damage that's done by AEO every single time, it's never ending. And I, you know, everyone talks about the flank, but I have another word for it.
Okay.
I like to call it the lurk. It is a tried and true term, and I will always stand by it. Every team needs a lurker. Every team needs that lurk that just wanders around the map, that just causes chaos. They're not really following as much of a set pattern as where they smell those kills might be, right? I love it. I love it so much in the fact that Nate are playing it to perfection, consistently with a Cypher of all things on the attack. Makes me so happy.
And before it used to be the big scary Frenchman was responsible for doing a lot of those lurks, but not anymore after those nerfs. And apparently now it's just the guy with the cool hat who's going to be more responsible for that. You would think it would be the Omen, but you know what? The hat just does quite all right. And now, like you said, though, that lurk, so instrumental in their attack. It makes Concordia so much more uncomfortable. They always have to check their backs, just understanding the presence that AO can kind of do here. But it's going to be a trade back and forth. Not bad for Concordia.
Oh, that's especially the fact that they just to take out the lurker, right? AO fell to that sheriff, and that now opens up an opportunity because Concordia, if they've been reading this properly, know, hey, if they're down, they know that the rest of them are going to walk through the same area. Volo said, I knew it, so I'll take two, but it's enough. Concordia sitting in a 3v1. Beautiful job here. It was well worth it, but Resurrection has an opportunity. Ooh. Cookie Dough said, not today. I'm cooking up a batch of cookies, and you are not invited.
And I just really have to give a big credit to Volo there. Some quick thinking with that operator. Of course, you know, the combo of utility coming in from Vista as well as the Cypher. The trip goes off, you know you got a peek there. But the fact that the spike was able to drop there made it so much easier for Concordia to do it, because suddenly these well-planned executions from Nate start to fall apart a little bit more. They know where the other people are. They have to move things without getting that spike down. And so just honestly, Volo really given the extra time, honestly, the rest of Concordia to be able to move and reposition themselves to shut things down. This time around, though, it's going to be a dirty old C hit. And only Vista is at the back here. This could be absolutely deadly. Rolling Thunder already committed.
Oh, locks Vista out of that sight. And again, it's a bully rush. I love this. Nate said right back to the try to choose style. We only got a few more left. Knives are out, though. Volo said, give me an opportunity. Non-taken, though, says Big Z and Vista, you're going to sit down. Resurrection dancing with the rest of the squad. As it's a three-pronged flank from Concordia. All the way through Link and Main, but Caro said no longer. You do not get a hold Link at all.
Volo still got blades activated. Somehow able to find Kiro's scalp, looking for yet another. Uses the tailwind midair to get away. Hasty is able to find one, not able to get the gun out in time. Resurrection shuts that one down. We're seeing 9-3.5. Not impossible, but definitely a hard hike for Concordia if they want to win out this map.
I mean, listen, if we know anything about the 9-3, let's hold it down here. I mean, you know what? I'm not always a betting man.
Are we
but
the
this
curse
is one
believers
time.
again?
I may be, but that's only in my games. Only in my games because I'm usually on the 3 side. So, you know, I got to believe every so often. This is still, though, this is Nate feeling strong. And again, their composition, I do feel holds a bit better in terms of the same pattern of being aggressive, right? Even on the defensive side, I still feel they're going to be super aggressive and very annoying here. Ayo just playing with a couple of blinds here, and I like it. But I'm liking exactly what Nate are putting down here. They should continue to be aggressive. You can even see here, they're already chasing up through C lobby. They are going to push into Concordia, who are now forced into this A position.
And this is really interesting because usually when we see attacker teams, they tend to be a little bit more A-focused or C-focused, but Nate kind of gambled and they put 3 of their agents onto C, pushed out incredibly aggressively, only leaving AO alone there. Thankfully, rotation is going to be able to come through. Non-taken will be able to support, but it's going to be 2v5 onto the site. Flanker's getting set up though.
I like this. Just through the smokes, and you're able to take him down. Ayo says, give me a chance as well. The lurk from behind catches him by surprise.
Oh my goodness.
And it is the most perfect round 1 you could have asked for. Nate took a bit of damage, but it's a flawless pistol round.
And that is a heartbreaker for Concordia. They had the numbers advantage. It's the pistol round. Things are going to get a little wacky, but they didn't press the gas pedal down enough. And that gave AEO enough time to allow for non-taken to get set up, but more importantly, get AEO out of the line of fire so that you can get set up and actually shut them down. I think it was that hesitation that really allowed Nate to thrive. And now it's going to be another easy round potentially for Nate. We're seeing 1 Vandal come into play here. As once again, it's going to be a pretty fast hit onto A. But immediately a trade going to come in. Vault line going to be used, but look at that. The paranoia just flushes everybody back here. An aftershock for good measure, and so much information gained for the defenders as they just push in and sweep the floor.
Oh, that was Nate cornering Concordia and just letting him have it. That was every bit of util. They could not move. I just want to point that out. They saw what was coming and they couldn't do anything about it. That is how you bunker someone down and ensure that they do not have a way back out. Nate currently sitting on 11 rounds, just need 2 more. Concordia, they got the guns this time, so, you know, it feels a bit better, but you are still staring down AEO, who had that Vandal throughout the entire round. Let's see how this goes. Let's see how this plays out. Will Nate be able to go 3 in a row here in the second half?
It'll be really tough. Bit of a tall order. Already the big utility coming out. Resurrection going in nice and deep. Full covert style. Maybe even a little bit of splinter cell there. Able to spawn out a foot. So decides to wisely just kind of back out for a second. But Kiro able to find one. And now the swing comes through. Vista, meanwhile, scoping things out here. Big Z actually gets caught up by the Trailblazer. And then once again, it's this indecision from Concordia. They're holding back a little bit more, and they're getting kind of punished for it. We see that Nate are not afraid to take angles and push into their space.
It's the ever feeling of being swamped, right? Being pressured and being kind of subdued. It's the slow death that you don't enjoy having right now. And they got to find a way to break out of it, but right now they are getting routed at every single angle. Vista. So it might be a shining light, but you're taking out some of these pieces of util and you're giving your position away. Back away at just the right time, but non-taken. Saying, I know where you are. That smoke, you're waiting. Karo said, Big Z, you are mine. Resurrection in tandem are sweeping them out. It might be another flawless. Are you kidding me? Volo able to find one, finds a second. This is the one shining light. You got to get the ace here. If you pull off this ace, it will be a turn that you desperately need. But Karo gets some shots off Volo, tagged down to about 70. And that hurts a little bit too much.
And take a look at the time. Only 10 seconds left onto the clock. Has to get this spike down right now. The fault line makes it so much more difficult. They're all swarming in. Non-taken, taken point. Is able to find the kill. Volo not able to put up much of a fight, and that is going to put Nate onto 12. We need one more round to win Concordia's map pick.
And not just that. Concordia are running into this round with bargain bin weapons. Highest creds I saw was 3.6. You can see there, if you want to pick up a gun, you gotta sacrifice some of that armor. Most likely some util in the back pocket. They're working with at least 3 rifles, but at what cost? Nate have played this so dang well. I'm so impressed. Again, I did say they were going to come out with a little bit of fire after losing in week number 4, and they've done so to a T. Very impressed with this team.
Look at this Concordia. They're afraid. They're looking like cornered animals. Not too sure what to do as the hunters are lurking for them. Now they're going to be moving in there. Non-taken, able to find one, but it is going to be a trade. However, still, that's a lot of that breach utility that just gets taken down. And that fault line is so good for initiation. Concordia, they're going to have a little bit of a tougher time making it in with, once again, maybe not full utility, making this round that much more difficult.
Concordia waiting their time out here.
Whoa.
Resurrection just taking off. Vista no longer allowed to play this round. Caro takes out Big Z. Cookie Dough saying, hey, I don't know how much longer we can do this. Velo saying, I know, this is a dangerous spot. 2 of them currently locked down over there near Mound, and just it's so scary. You can see it. They are going to have that Blade Storm, and they're going to chase. They know it's all or nothing. 2v4. Can they make it happen?
Aftershock in hand for Caro. Waiting for that, and yeah, that's going to deny things just a little bit more. Spike is going to be going down here. The op shots are going a little wide. Trying to find something through the smoke. Volo holding point. They got to watch behind as well. Cookie Dough not looking the right way. It's going to be an excellent fault line. AO able to find one. Volo goes for the next one, looks for it. Able to find the right click, but doesn't matter. There's simply too many bodies to deal with. Meanwhile, all of Concordias are going to be hitting the floor as Nate. They win it 13-3 very definitively on map 1.
Nate didn't stop. I want to point that out because normally when you swap to the defensive, I always like to say it right. Whoever's on the attack holds the baton. They get to conduct the orchestra to play at their tempo. Every so often, though, some of the band members decide to go off the rails a bit. And they play to their own team because they know what it's like to have the baton in their hand. They know what speed they like to play at. That's what Nate did. Yes, in the first half, they took control. They played at their own pace. And in the second half, they said, screw it. We're a better conductor. We'll take it in our own stride. And CSP, they tried their hardest. I give them all that benefit. At the very end, we were seeing those flying knives, the knives coming out. Vista still looking pretty snappy on some of those kills, but it was a little too late for that game number 1.
Let's see if this train is going to keep on chewing as Nate looked extremely dominant. But like you said, the conductors of map number 1. We're going to be throwing to a 2-minute break. And when we get back, we're going to have map number 2, Concordia, fighting to survive in this best of 3 series. We'll see you on the other side. Welcome back, everybody, to the NECC Challengers Valorant Division. My name is still Marks. This is still Orbital. We've got Concordia St. Paul Gold up against Northern Alberta Institute of Technology. And we just finished up Lotus. Tell us a little bit about that, Orbital.
This was Nate having a field day.
Yeah.
That's really what I like to say. It felt like both teams were practiced on the map. I give them credit for that. Both teams felt like they knew the map at least to a certain degree. But Nate were much more concise on their fights. They felt a lot more in control. They felt more like a practice squad rolling through. At no point did they decide to take things slow. Even though it might have looked like it for maybe 1 or 2 rounds on the attack, they never played it slow, and it showed. If you wanted any more information on that, second half, they rushed on pistol. I want to say that again. Off of C site, they rushed in pistols, and they never stopped. This is confidence in your own ability and confidence in your teammate. I give him a lot of credit for that. CSP Gold got a ways ahead of him.
Absolutely, and on top of that too, you know what? It's always cold in Alberta, and well, Nate, they're going to be taking us to Icebox next. We are going to be going to their map pick in Concordia St. Paul Gold. They have to win Icebox if they want to force out that map number 3. Otherwise, Nate, it's just going to be another win in the books for this team that have so far only lost 1 game this season.
I mean, and that was just last week. And I'll always say this, a loss the week prior can do 1 or 2 things to your next opponent. One is you kind of falter again, especially if you won the first 3 2-0s and you get 0-2'd. You start to falter. You start to be worried about how you're playing. You know, what exactly did we mess up on? Where did we go wrong? How did this kind of happen? And you start to doubt your own skill. Now, that's a very, I want to say, over-the-top way to analyze it. And that's okay, but I've seen it happen. The second part is they come back with a vengeance against whoever they're playing next. They're like, man, we got to prove ourselves. We got to show what we can do. It kind of feels like that. 13-3 shutdown. Very, very impressive stuff. And I don't expect them to stop anytime soon.
Oh, I don't think so either, especially too as we move into Icebox. We've seen a lot of new strategies kind of come out from the most recent tournament, but of course, let's see if whether or not they're going to be trying to implement some of these new compositions. Sometimes with a map like Icebox, you just want to keep to what you know, and so going to be really curious to see how Nate want to be playing this one, but more importantly, how Concordia want to try to match them here. They're not playing here to lose. They want to be able to force out that map number 3. They want to keep on keeping their heads into the game. And even though they have lost majority of their matches thus far, they have been winning maps every now and then. So it isn't completely out of the books for them just quite yet.
It feels like they have a good handle on the concepts, right? They have been given the playbook. They understand a bit of what's going on. The execution is where it gets a bit rough, and that's always the most difficult part for just about any team. Execution is always going to come down to the mechanics, to the team style, and if the agents that they play correspond with the with the plays that they want to pull off, right? We can go ahead and take a look here. CSP Gold, they are working with a pretty old school style. The Sage coming in, that one's always going to be fun. The Killjoy here will be very, very interesting. I'm excited to see how it plays out, but of course the Viper, it's still the old tried and true on this map. You are going to run a Viper. You are going to have a lot of fun with those lineups. And it's going to hold actually extremely steady. I think we have perfect mirrored compositions here.
And you know what? I'm a fan of it. Some people might be questioning the Killjoy pick, but once again, Killjoy hasn't been nerfed just quite yet and is still packing quite a bit of a punch. Especially too, you're not going to get as much value with some of those trap wires that Cypher might be bringing to the table. You know what? Escape KJ on the field. You're going to have a great time. Meanwhile, both of these teams opting to go for the double wall idea. That's why we're seeing that Sage. That's why we're seeing this Viper. And quite frankly, I think that this works out really well. That barrier orb does an excellent job of sealing things out, but also to protecting yourself, especially too if you're trying to go for some of these, you know, pretty hasty attacks, and on top of that too, hasty defuses.
I'm excited to see what they pull down. Remember, last time Nate just hard rushed a site. They did not stop. I think they just rushed A on Lotus, and they did that for about 4 or 5 rounds in a row. They never stopped, and they just said, hey, cool, it's working for us. This time around, this setup here is quite interesting. We can actually see Concordia setting up with 3 in mid, and they're going to try a bum rush on their own end. The problem, again, is you are dancing at a very awkward spot. Goosey has all the information in the world, should know that 5 are over here. The Killjoy, though, on their side is still posted up over on A, and now they are making their way over. All 3 members, though, of Concordia are still running through mid. So it's a free site for Nate.
But honestly, Concordia did more than enough. Goosey able to slow them down for a second to allow this hard flank to come through. Wonder if they're going to be expecting 3 players. No, looks like AO is just on top of it. All 3 members completely shut down. Suddenly that flank falls flat right on its face. And down to a 2v5 scenario. Vista does have a sheriff. Gonna be looking for some cheeky headshots, but honestly, the Sage is nowhere to be found. Able to find one, but Hasty finds the classic right click. And now Goosey all alone. Unable to find that one, so yet another confident round coming in from Nate.
Again, that was, the call was not bad. The play made sense, but the execution was a little bit flawed. I would have liked to see Vista rotate a little bit earlier, especially with all the information, right? There's no way that you don't know all 5 are over there. I feel is the best way to put it from Goosey. So the call should have been made, and you should have rotated them over, because at this point, Nate have really shown their hand in the style that they want to play. They are not going to rotate out unless drastically needed, unless they lose 2 or 3 members and they are bullied out of it. They will not stray from their original goal, which is rush at you, force you to play to their tempo, and take you wherever you stand. And they're doing it once again. B site completely overrun.
And I'd like to just make a quick note. We're actually seeing Nate. They've changed up some of their roles. We're seeing now Resurrection, who was originally on Omen, playing the Jet, and honestly doing a fantastic job. On top of that too, AEO, big flanker, is now playing Sova. Not so prominent on the flank here, but still doing an excellent job with that utility. They get that spike down, and they just lock the keys to the castle. It doesn't look like Concordia really have too many opportunities. Yeah, they just fall flat yet again. A very decisive second round, keeping 4 of their members alive and even having a couple of Vandals.
I mean, look at that. You say a couple. You say a couple.
Yeah, I meant all.
Yeah, I mean, come on. We got to give them credit for this one. They washed out and they said, screw armor. We're going to go hard here. They still have extra money in the bank as well. 2K. This is not a normal econ. I want to point this out. This is not normal to see. On the attack usually they're sitting at about maybe 1 to 1.5. That's a little bit more standard. The fact that none of them died and they've gotten plants and easily taken care of members, they're sitting and flying high right now. Concordia, they got to be ready for this. If they don't know that they're going to be running straight into a bunch of Phantoms and Vandals, they're in for a world of pain.
It's even more a little bit painful as Concordia actually stacked a lot of their members in onto that A site. Fortunately, not going to be the case here. Kiro able to find one. A lot of utility being rushed in there, but finally the spike should be able to go down. Nate with a very confident attack yet again. All 5 members still standing, and the spike is now down.
Marks, it ain't stopping. It really ain't stopping. Once again, Nate, this is the 3rd time they've gone C. By the way, we're gonna keep count of how long they decide to go for B. If they just keep going the entire time and just treat it like Pearl, that's gonna be pretty entertaining.
Oh my
to me.
goodness.
Oh, Caro though. Caro washes through 4 and says, gimme that 4 of a kind.
And this is once again, just talking about their role swaps and just the flexibility coming in from Northern Alberta. Caro last time was playing the Breach. Now is on flank duty, now on lurk duty on this Killjoy pick, and honestly still doing a fantastic job, currently leading the number of kills with 6. Look at Concordia's stats, not nearly the same. Only 2 kills amongst their entire team thus far, and 3 rounds in. Nate are showing no signs really of stopping.
And I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of frustrated at this CSP Gold. They are not respecting Nate's aggression. I mean, they're respecting it a little bit. They are posting now a few more over on this B side, but it's a rotate call. It is not a heavy-sided early setup. They're just saying, okay, we got some time, but Vista able to find Hasty Gate. Nanostorm was able to catch one, and you know what? That's a better start than they normally had.
Yeah, and look at this. They're actually just completely relying on their utility. 2 people down, and it's thanks to the snake bites that have made it just a 1-tap kill for a lot of this utility. Goosey able to find one. Still 2v2 scenario, not terrible for Concordia.
Well, it's not terrible, but it's not optimal either, especially since Goosey has not been able to grab any of the weapons, was the last one to rotate over. But they are all 1-taps, so if you are able to get a body shot on either member, you have a grand opportunity to take it home. You do have the wall, you could set that one up and prep yourself for a chance at a defuse. Able to grab a Phantom.
Just gotta go for it.
Wall. You are gonna try, but it's a long ways, and you get one. Almost got the second.
6
Resurrection
HP.
on 6 HP. ridiculous play, but still, Nate coming out on top. They're wiping their foreheads. They're wiping the sweat off their heads, but I mean, they got it done.
And I'm very curious to hear what we have Concordia's, like, what's going on in their heads, because it does feel like they are very confident that eventually Nate are going to be attacking this A site. We see that they're always setting up. They're putting that Viper over there and just relying on Killjoy to anchor down B. It hasn't been the case. Now they are respecting it. They're making their way around. I want to see more of that utility being used from Concordia. Like I said, the snakebite, the vulnerable, just made it so much easier to tear through those members without even having to take a look at them. The Owl Drone going to be expended. Hasty, spotted out as well. They know that they're coming this way, but they're still holding it down, and there is a lurking Killjoy. Excellent snakebite positioning, though.
This is much better from the side of Nate, or from the side of the Concordia, right? I like this. They are forcing a changeup because, again, 4 times in a row, Nate went B and got full advantage. So forcing a change, forcing a little bit of a difference. Nate, of course, sitting on 3 ultis, so we'll see what they can do over here on A's side, and this is how you do it. This is why the Killjoy is so nice. The lockdown covering a majority share of A's side. Going high and seeing what they can do, but Hero takes out Vista after 1-for-1 trade. They're gonna have to wait out the timer. There goes the plant. You can hear it. Shock Bolt getting ready to wing it out.
Oh,
Not gonna really find any damage, and AO finds Big Z.
here's to see where this spike is exactly planted, but we already see Nate start to back off, rely on these post plants. They still got that Silva, got that Viper, and KJ. This Goosey doing the smart thing there, but gonna get completely chewed up by the Nano Swarm. And this is where these lineups get so annoying. Resurrection gets spotted out. Volo able to win the jet battle here. And now Cookie Dough has to kind of stick it, but it's just a little bit too late. The lineups are so annoying. Volo, last person alive, has to reload. Time's starting to run out here. Oh, does find a little bit of a headshot here, but gonna have to back it off and respect it. It's almost like watching a DRX match in the most recent VCT tournament, because Nate, they took a page right out of their book. Get that spike down, play these massive lineups, and just slow it down.
And there's a bit more to just the lineups that you have to be frustrated at, because back in the day when Icebox first came out, right, all you ran was a Viper. Viper was enough to stall out and force you off of that spike with a single rotation of utility. The fact that you now have 2 sets of utility, you have the Killjoy Nanoswarm as well as the Viper's Poison, it doubles up on that lethal efficiency, and it's so frustrating to play because you could even see it there. I think it was Volo that was trying to set inside of that poison and at least take it to half. Couldn't do it. You take down too fast. So for Nate, they are playing this 2AT. They're saying, Concordia, this is how you play this. This is how you need to utilize those lineups and utilize those pieces of util to give yourself the best advantage. Resurrection, though, did not see that push over. Did they not see? Oh my gosh, beautifully done.
Nope.
Well, AO said not today. Okay, that's fair.
Got the moves like Jagger, but not able to make anything happen there. An excellent double swing yet again. Predicting Volo might be hanging out up top. Once again, this is just so easy for Nate. They're able to find the first bloods of the round so consistently. And Concordia have nothing to answer back for it. Vista not even able to break the barrier orb in time as Goosey goes down as well. All lines of defense have been broken down, and now that spike gets planted. And this is going to be a tough retake, but they do have the lockdown online. I think they save it for the next round, though. Wait until you have actual guns there. Able to find one. Vista gets absolutely domed. Recon Dart going to be going in just for good measure as Non-Taken is on the flank. Cookie Dough kind of expecting it, but is able to actually take the win here. Let's see if the save comes through.
Well, Cookie Dough says the turret's going to be doing a bit more than they would like, and they can't cross over, so they're stuck inside, and AO said, I see you over that wall. Once again, a very good attempt from Cookie Dough and the rest of the squad, but they just can't get it done. 6 in a row. Phenomenal job from Nate's side, and they're not stopping. It's the ping-pong economy a little bit. As yes, Big Z was able to buy up, they'll be the ones with the hero rifle. The rest of the team not willing to expend. I mean, if they did, it would be at a very rough deficit. There it is. Big Z said, okay, we're not buying. We'll save up this round.
And this is the right call. Try those sheriffs. Get the ultimate bank a little bit higher, but you know what? At a certain point, you got to make sure that you're actually getting these ultimates and using them effectively. We're going to be seeing Volo go for the Blade Storm. Compensate for that weapon disadvantage here, but it's going to be a full send onto A. Goosey backs up yet again. A lot of information given thanks to that Owl Drone. And look at this, the Viper's Pit actually getting set up as well. Makes the pistol round that much harder.
Resurrection just saying, look, I don't have to worry about anything here. Ayo, sweeping through the ranks. And again, it is a save, but it still feels so good watching your kills go up like that. Flawless 7th. As Nate are looking to take this one in style. And I mean, again, I think this is their map pick. So they're saying, look, we can't drop a single round. We're going to make it look good. And for the first time this series, a timeout called by Concordia St. Paul Gold.
Yeah, and honestly, they need to be able to get a round on the board. This is complete control coming in from Nate. With how that round went, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't even think that they needed the Viper Spit. They used that just as an insurance method, but it didn't matter. The fact that they were able to just push so confidently into their spawn and win out duels that, quite frankly, they shouldn't be winning, that tells the story itself. We're already 7 rounds in a row for Nate. Only 5 rounds left in this half, but Concordia have not been able to figure it out. They have quite a bit of utility coming in this time around. Sorry, Ultimate's online. I'm looking at that 100-3. I'm looking at that lockdown. We see how much of an impact they have when they use their utility to stall Nate's attack. I want to see more of that. Maybe you get a kill. That'd be fantastic. But even if you just slow down their pacing, I think that gives you a much bigger advantage than just kind of getting steamrolled right over.
Gotta agree with you there. It's all about breaking up those patterns and making Nate try and find other ways to get around win. Of course, that means stopping a raging bull, right? That bull is not slowing down unless you get the big guns out. And they'll try here. Again, I like the timeouts also being called when you have guns in hand for this round. I think it's very appropriate. We are going to have 3 ultis down as well. That's going to be the Hunter's Fury, the Lockdown, as well as a Resurrection. Plenty to work with. On the flip side, it's only the Blade Storm and the Resurrection. So maybe we get that 6-on-6 is the best way I like to call it. Time goes on, though, as Ayo trying to spot anyone out. Owl Drone getting quite a bit of information, letting everyone know that, hey, it's quite empty on this side at least. Become Bolt goes out. No one really found out. Shock Bolt randomly to the middle of B side, just trying to get someone, but non-taken. Says, hey, I found a roaming Volo.
Look at this. It's actually the perfect brain strategy coming in from Nate. They've completely split themselves up. Concordia aren't too sure whether or not this is a B side or an A side attack. In fact, that information was found that a couple of agents were actually over on that A side. Not too confident on what's going on, but look at this. They're going to be moving in now, looking for it. Don't really have those shock bolts to really clear off any of the utility on the site that might be hanging out. But Understory going to be online. Doesn't quite, oh, there we go, hits its mark there. Is able to actually take out Taken. And that's going to be extremely important because that allows for a lot of that utility to just not get utilized at all.
Well, the Resurrection came in and said, nah, not today. We don't have to worry about that one. Up on top, Goosey is trying to lay down a little bit of a wall, trying to open up an opportunity, but the Nano Swarm forces you to slow down, and you can't get to that spike. Look, again, those lineups are causing so many problems. Even the Shock Bolt gets a little bit of fun in there. But look at that. What? Resurrection to Ayo at the same time take a couple kills. It's down to a 3v1. Goosey hiding in the corner saying, I don't know what I can do here. That just means you are stuck holding the world up as Nate moved to 8-0.
And it's just such good plays with those shock bolts. The reason why we see those shock bolt kind of go blindly onto the site is to play anti-killjoy mechanisms. You want to make sure that those, those nanoswarms just aren't there anymore. And especially too, when you're trying to defuse it, not having Cookie Dough to be able to clear that out, that allows for so much more stall utility coming in. So it's so difficult for Concordia to be able to try and make this post plant happen if they don't have the appropriate utility to counter what Nate could be setting up. And even though Nate are winning all of the gun battles, you don't necessarily have to. Their utility is going to be more than enough to really slow down that clock. Well, they're 8 rounds up. We're seeing a very similar method of engagement here, as it's going to be all 4 going on to the B site.
I mean, it's B once again. I feel like Nate have only gone to A when they feel like they have to. Other than that, it's B. It's always B side. They're like, can we do B? Yeah, let's do B. And it works. They're back on it. They're back on their stuff. Long lurk though, because we are gonna get that lockdown. Vista testing it, waiting for the flank. You can take a look at that jet. Long way haul from the attacker side.
Oh,
I think they're waiting to get into position and. If this works, this could... Oh, the double. Oh, that's so mean. I love this. The force out is going to force everyone back to Volo's position, and Volo might not be ready for it. The wall is up. You don't see anyone. You take a couple shots, but you have to get out. That's going to be a double up here, but Lockdowns are destroyed. Goosey, though, makes the best of a rough opportunity and takes the 3K. Looking for a bit more. Wall goes up, but there's no time. The lockdown was perfect. And that'll be another. Nate with 9. The perfect stall.
There's a lot of things to break down there, but I think the key piece that really just allowed Nate to be able to checkmate that round was being able to take out the defender lockdown. When that lockdown got destroyed, you could just tell that Concordia didn't know what to do. And half their squad said we save, half the squad says no, we gotta commit here, and they just kind of fell apart. They didn't really have a game plan going into it because I don't think that they were expecting that lockdown to get destroyed. And well, we know Nate, they're more than happy to take over that space and to completely just shut down anything. So this time around, we're seeing a little bit more aggression coming from Concordia. The legs are spotted out. Volo is going to be going down as Resurrection finds yet another. This is just going to be easy pickings for Nate. Doesn't matter if the guns are going to be available. A lot of them do get hit, but it doesn't matter. No kills are found. And now, Spike goes down. It's going to be 2v4.
Really good reaction from Nate to get out of that Nanoswarm cluster. Very, very nicely done. That could have dropped a lot of pain. I give him a lot of credit for staying away, but Concordia St. Paul Gold left with 2 alive. Shockbolt goes out just to try and get a bit of information and try and get some tag damage. But you're able to land the headshot. Perfect shots go down, and you make it a 3rd. What is this cookie dough? Let him cook. Let him cook there. Let's see how much more you can get. All right. Well, the batter exploded inside of the oven. And Don Taken says, sit down, everyone. 10 rounds in a row. Concordia St. Paul Gold got a long way ahead of them.
And honestly, like Northern Alberta, they don't even look like they're really trying too difficult. It just seems that they're in their flow. And they're just kind of like, okay, we've done this enough times. We know the practice here. We just got to execute on it. And it looks clean every single time. They're adapting themselves very nicely to this defense as well. You know, the strategies aren't quite working out too well. Well, let's just swing it around, make sure that the rotations come a little bit faster. And that's why they've got 10 rounds in a row. It's flawless gameplay coming in here. And now we're going to be seeing the Blade Storm get activated. Volo going up onto A to try and potentially shut down this Lurker. Has not been successful thus yet. Kiro does finally go down, but it doesn't matter. Floodgates have opened up here. We do see Nate start to make their way in through mid.
Oh, you saw the gun. Volo knows that they might be in a world of pain, and you look to the side. You aren't able to get anything. You float your way down on top of the box. You got the Marshall. Can you hit another headshot? Yes, you need to get a collat! Volo hits a collat and saves the round from getting planted. Are you kidding me? Volo, make it happen. You see around the corner, that's going to be another pain set. You pick up that gun. You're going to run it back as quickly as possible. And Volo might have just made the play of the round. Volo with a 4K. Bring it on home. Make it a 5. Make it an ace. The team's coming to help out a little bit. Sprays through the wall. They're hunting. They're hoping out in the back corner.
There it is.
Volo makes it a 5K.
The feet work. If you told me that Volo was actually knitting, I would believe you, because the amount of dodging and weaving and just threading the needle that was going on that site. Absolutely beautiful. You can tell that Nate just weren't expecting that level of gameplay to come in with just a Marshall. On top of that too, able to find that collateral headshot, just completely shutting down Concordia. And that is going to be the start that they need if they want to potentially turn things around. It's going to be the last round of the half. We see Volo going to have that operator. This time around, Nate not too happy with that ace. You're going to call a timeout.
I love that so much. In a 10-1 scenario, you're not usually worried about this. Like, you're like, okay, you're fine. But that ace had to rattle them. The fact that they're taking a timeout here, they just got to be like, yo, did that actually just happen to us? Did Volo really just style on us? I love it. Fantastic job from Concordia, and that's what you need. You need that standout player every so often to just be like, hey, let's get our butts back into gear, right? Let's get ourselves back into this. And we can still make the plays. So you can see the glimmers of light that are currently shining for the Concordia squad. But Nate are just putting them down. I don't expect them to give over an opportunity to, 1, line up for a collat, and then 2, get routed in an ace by a single player.
Yeah, unbelievable stuff. And that was the first time that we actually saw Nate go for a very unconventional strategy. You know, they might have overplayed their cards just a little bit there, allowing Concordia to have that opening. And honestly, big props to Concordia for being able to take that. Of course, Volo was the one who kind of led the charge here. Now, Nate, they've got that timeout, you know, cool off the nerves a little bit. And now we're going to be seeing something very classic. All 5 of their members now going to be pushing in on this B site, and it's going to be a nice and fast hit.
I love it. Right back to Old Faithful, right? Right back to what we've done time and time again that we won so many rounds on, especially with this being the last round of the half. Go ahead, send down the Viper's Pit. Goosey not wanting to try and dance this one out. They hear that the spike is going down, but do they actually want to chase in? Look at all that poison causing problems for Concordia to walk into. And Resurrection said, even through the smoke, I send you to your grave. Take another snapshot. That's a 2K for you. One more. Do you get it? Is this going to be back-to-back aces? Please say yes. Yes. Oh, come on. That's a 3K. Looking for 2 more. Bring it on home, Resurrection. Can you do it?
Nope.
Nope. Never mind.
Ulo shuts it down with the Blade Storm. Gets the knives back, but time is running out. You got to clear the back there. Doesn't matter. Once again, it's just such good gameplay coming out from Nate. They seal it out 11-1 in the very first half here. We're going to be seeing Nate get onto the defense, but it's a little bit... I think this map is more or less over. Concordia, unless they can string together 12 rounds in a row, I don't think this one's going to be looking too good for them.
Yep. And this is a very quick timeout call. Concordia, they're like, all right, we got to make this work. And I do agree with this. This is one of the few times I will agree with this. If you're going to call a timeout to figure out your game plan, it's right at the start when you're in an 11-1. Because if you lose this round, if you're Concordia, if you lose this round, you're put right into match point and you're going to be guns down. So this pistol is extremely important. How you go about this, how you approach this round will make or break the rest of the game and really either make an opportunity occur that you get a comeback in this game, or if you're almost completely shut out. This is that stepping stone. This is that first stone that you have to step on to walk forward if you want to have that miraculous comeback.
Miraculous. That's a fantastic word to describe the current situation that we do see Concordia in. You know what? I've seen crazier things. Not too often, but I have seen crazier things. I'll have to talk about that on another time. Be seeing Concordia get themselves set up on this attack. Nate, though, opting for a very classic defense here. That Viper is heavily favored onto that A site. You use that wall defensively, and the fact that the Sage is there as well could just really shut down a lot of these lanes, limit the options of the attackers. Meanwhile, Concordia, they're interested in pushing up mid. They're gonna walk right into non-taken. Let's see if they can at least take something away from the team.
Oh, I love this. They're doing it again. They're doing this exact same thing again. Kero chases forward and swings hard. Nate did this last time, and it works once again. Yes, Concordia are able to make their way through kitchen, but they left the spike. So you have now traded places in the worst possible way. Nate, say goodbye to your hopes of getting this spike.
2v5 scenario on the pistol round. All the Killjoy utility available as well. And that turret does damage on these pistol rounds. Look at this. Looks like the Uno reverse card has completely come out from Nate. They're hanging out in the spawn. They're just waiting things out now. Concordia have to be the ones to re-engage into their own spawn. Like I said, Orbital, this one is not looking too good for Concordia.
Is this the appropriate time to say all your bases belong to us? Like, this is the most you have all 5 members of Nate currently sitting there. That is amazing. Ayo, swing.
Oh no.
Hasty tried to get the kill, but the wall came up just in time. It is a flawless round though for Nate. They did not allow a single piece of economy to go Concordia's way. Concordia, they're gonna have to try their best with the budget buy of dreams here. Marshall, Stinger, Spectre, Light Armor, barely any utility. This is Nate's to take. If they play this one right, they will go home victors with a 2-0.
Orbital just really showing his age on cast, using an old StarCraft reference that not many people will understand in today's day and age, but...
Oh, come on. I mean, I am old, but, you know, all right.
It's been over 10 years since StarCraft 2 has come out. Keep that in mind. All right, getting aggressive yet again. Vist is able to take one, but Hasty trades that one right back. Nate are running it down. They've swapped again, but this time it's going to be Concordia able to get the spike down, and now they'll have all the time in the world to set up their post-plant positioning, but they have to be so cognizant of this flank push. just running it down. Let's see how this one turns out. Resurrection taking first point there. Bullets are going to be traded back and forth. Volo on the back line gets the running headshot onto Kiro. Unbelievable stuff. Goes for the shorty play instead, but non-taken, able to win that one out. Takes a bit of damage here, but we're down to a 3v3. This time is ticking away. Hasty just on the other side of this Viper's wall. Has to run out for a second. The heal comes online here. It's going to be a spray down. Looking really good for Concordia. Down to a 1v1. Cookie Dough just has to stay alive long enough. Goes around the corner here, spots it out, and Cookie Dough wins that round. The economy of both these teams are going to be shattered, but it is going to be Concordia at least getting a second round on the board.
Honestly, well played by Concordia. They took initiative, and they played a page out of Nate's book. They said, okay, we're going to push. We don't care what stops us. We're going to rush. And because Nate had the same idea, Concordia got a free site and were able to make massive use of that. Once again, they also did buy up, so now Nate are working with a budget buy of their own. And Concordia got to feel good. They had to feel very proud of what they just pulled off. I did say that first pistol round was very important, but the second one was just as so, and they challenged and won it out. So now they give themselves a bit of an opportunity, but again, they had to play flawlessly from here on out.
Recon Bolt. Back at the site, Ayo with the shorty. Able to at least get one. Vista, though, trades that one right back. Vista, yet another. Killjoy lighting it up. This time around, we see that they're actually cognizant of the flank as well. Volo able to find a kill. Now the question is, do we see Concordia back out? Looks like they're just going to be taking their early exit here. The fact that Nate are aware of this might make things a little bit more difficult, as Kiro's going to have enough time to rotate around.
If they run, off they chase. To kitchen they go. Kiro goes, I hear him. I hear 1, 2, 3. Count Dracula would be proud. Kiro. Wandering off the side. Yeah, just dance. Just wait for your teammates. There's the plant. And now time ticks on. 2v4 Concordia in a phenomenal spot.
Should be an easy round for them. Spotted out as well, Volo. It's the first couple of bullets in there. Be going for a little bit of a natural hop around. Bait out a couple of bullets, but Nate, it's like it's winter and the Bears are hibernating. They've stacked themselves up here. Big Z able to find one. It is traded out by Hasty, but Hasty in a very precarious scenario.
Oh.
And it is going to be Concordia. They lose 2, but they get yet another round. Let's see how Nate takes this next round to respond.
Oh, now you got the big challenge, right? That was a save round from Nate. Well, bargain bin. But they're able to buy up. Yes, you have another Marshall on Resurrection, but now you got to deal with the other weapons, the Vandals on AO, Hasty, and non-taken, and we know what they can do with guns in their hands, especially since Concordia do not have any ultis really close to being online except for Big Z. It's an uphill battle. Gotta work your way through. So, let's see how it plays out. Nate, ready to go to try and win their last round to seal the deal. Concordia hoping to continue the chase and try and tie things up and push to OT. Again, long and thorny road ahead of them, but it is traversable. We've seen it done in series before.
Good resilience from Nate. Slowing down the pace of the game. Playing the information a little bit better. Hasty gets the information, actually. And, be the barrier orb up immediately. He's taking a lot of damage here. Able to still stay alive. Most importantly, almost found a head there. As Concordia, they actually back out of the site. It would have been their opportunity to capitalize on their numbers advantage, but this is going to give Nate enough time to get themselves set up. We do see that Viper wall come up as well. Now, with the toxic screen, the question is, do Concordia try to re-aggress here? Or do they try to swap their sites? Looks like they might just be slowing things down and waiting down to that 30-second mark before they make their engagement.
I think it also depends on what they find here in the kitchen side, because they are sending a lurker over there, but I believe you're correct. Just wait down the time, wait to see how far you go, and there you go. 30 seconds hits, and off you go. Repelling your way in, gather a few extra members. But now you're going to take a chance. Big Z said hello. Kiro said hello back. Vista is down. Cookie Dough, though, gets Resurrection. And it seems that they might have done it. 3v4, making it 2v4. Concordia fighting to the tooth and nail, and it's always true. The Tiger is most dangerous when it's cornered.
Oh, the head comes right off Kiro. Spotted there now, non-taken alone in a 1v4 scenario. Spots out one, able to find the better half of that Viper counterpart. Snake's got a little bit more bite left in it. Cookie Dough going to be moving in there, but the numbers are just overwhelming. All three peak out at the same time. Concordia able to take yet another round, sending Nate's economy all the way back down. It looks like both of these teams are a lot more comfortable when they're the ones attacking.
I'm loving it. Concordia looking better and better here. They've allotted themselves an extra round. Unless Kara has something to say about it, but it's still a rough buy. Sheriff's on 3. Classic on Resurrection. All right, make it 4 Sheriffs. Just keep messing with me. All right, we're Frenzy. Good. Hasty, keep going. Keep rotating through all the weapons. I want to see more. Oh, okay. We stuck with that one. Nate sitting with the bargain bin, and Concordia saying, all right, we should be able to move to 5 rounds. If we play this one smart, again, a deep default setup. No chases anywhere, really. Concordia looking up mid saying, hey, is someone there? And the rest of Nate saying, no, not really. Please don't look any further.
Here.
Big Z almost spotted out there. I think Resurrection was able to find at least a foot. Oh no, the information given. They know that Nate have moved up here, which quite frankly is good information for Concordia. Because they at least know that not going to be going too well. Volo able to find Ayo, but they lose one in the midst of it. Even trade. Not too bad for Nate. Resurrection able to find the dink with the classic. Volo hurting just a little bit more. Tailwind is going to be activated here as we see the poison cloud come up. Walk off the sight lines just a bit, but look at that. Such confidence coming in. Nate holding it down, waiting for that smoke to come down. Now Cookie Dough has to aggress the site alone. Might not be the most ideal scenario, but Volo is on the back. Resurrection is going to be going down. Now 30 seconds left on the clock. They have to commit it, and look at this. They've got that spike on A orbital.
I mean, it's so good. They should be able to get the plane down very, very quickly. They're the last 2 lurkers, and you got one running up mid, right into the waiting arms here, and Volo with the spray and pray. Takes him down with the 3K. Easy does it as Nate, still on match point. Concordia carry 4 over. And ultis all stacking up there. You can see one away on Cookie Dough and Vista. But Nate, get another gun around to play with, and Resurrection going ahead and swinging for the fences. Operator coming out to drop him to 100 credits left.
And honestly, that operator might make the difference. If Resurrection gets a couple of picks right off the bat, that completely shuts down Concordia's momentum. Right now, Concordia, they've been taking good account portfolio advice, which is to diversify your assets and then go wherever you see an opportunity. And it's looked extremely good. Volo getting a little bit high up there. Doesn't quite find the Blade Storm kill that they wanted. Down to 70 HP, but still alive, and that's what's important.
As long as you're alive, you can pull the trigger and fire away here in Valorant. Concordia, though, again, they are rotating out. Their game has been test the waters and then rotate. Test the waters and rotate. Find the most optimal path. And Nate are not giving him any reason to chase forward any further. They played fairly quietly. Haven't moved up past some of those gates. Right now, Concordia going to bunker down, wait most likely again to that 30-second mark. And then decide if they want to rush or not.
Where's
20 seconds left? Ooh. Oh, okay. I like this. I like this.
Yeah, that should give them the room. What's more important, though, is making sure that they cut off the sight line, use that smoke appropriately, and then they can comfortably enter into the site here. Looks like that is going to be the case. No players detained. Barrier orb goes up. Now Big Z is able to get that spike down. Potentially getting the Viper Spit online, and yeah, they're just going to go for it. They got to play this one flawlessly. They're going to be doing just that. Non-Taken is going to get resurrected here. Now Hunter's Fury coming out as well. You know that this is going to be Concordia trying to make sure that they get as much as they can. A lot of tags here. Resurrection pops the Blade Storm, able to find Cookie Dough's head, going into the back here, looking for anything that can happen. It's going to be dueling Viper Pits coming in. Resurrection still somehow alive. Took a lot of damage from the back here. Volo hanging out on top, just kind of flying around this defender's Viper Spit. It's absolute pandemonium inside of here. No information given. The swings are going to be good. This could be it. Nate down to a 1v3. It's going to be in the chaos that they thrive. Eventually.
Yeah.
Okay, they're good.
Oh,
it's
my
really
gosh.
down, really close to the
0.18.
wire there. Wasn't sure for a second. But congratulations to Northern Alberta Institute of Technology. They absolutely dominated on this map, winning it out 13-5. But you know what? It wasn't looking too bad for Concordia on that attack.
I always like to say, you know, how did you improve? And granted, at this point in the season, you don't want to be improving. You want to have been at your peak, and you want to be able to keep moving forward. Especially for a team that is now 1-4, it's going to be a hard road, and it's a little bit dicey if you're going to make it into the playoff scene. But at the same time, Game 1 was rough. We have to say that Lotus did not look great, but on Icebox, you bite back at 12-1. It's looking super dicey, and you are able to storm back at least 4 rounds. Give yourselves a pat on the back. Nate are not an easy team to take rounds off of. You got to be proud of knocking down the Giants every so often.
Yeah, and it's that level of resiliency that really makes Concordia stand out as a team. Obviously, you know, with the half, it's easy to just kind of flop over and be like, you know what, you guys get this one. But they were really generating a lot of steam, and if they had won a couple more rounds on that first half, I think that they really could have shown it to Nate, and really potentially made this game a lot closer. But it is going to be Nate that are going to be winning it out, making their streak alive once again. I believe Orbital, they're now going to be 5-1 in the season.
4-1. They were 3-1 at the start, and I mean, I don't think they're going to stop, right? So to put it in perspective, their games have been all 2-0s or 0-2s, and I don't think they're too keen on dropping another series. So expect them to play smart, expect them to play very aggressive, and again, very headstrong. I like the style that they have. Again, there's not, with other teams, you see the variety. You see that, okay, we're going to play default, we're going to play slow, we're going to wait 30 seconds. No. This team in the first 40 seconds will have decided if they're going to rush the site, if they're going to try and look for kills, or if we're going to rotate out if fully necessary. Those are their 3 key options, and they'll stick to that, and I love specialist teams like that.
Yeah, it's honestly a little bit of a spectacle in itself. Once again, Northern Alberta Institute of Technology, congratulations for winning it out against Concordia St. Paul Gold. That is going to wrap things up for tonight here. My name is still Marks, and this is still Orbital. We've had Zay on our production and Caro helping out with our observing. But Orbital, you got any final words before we close things out?
Nah, more Valorant. Give me more Valorant. Let's see where the teams go.
Absolutely. Stick with us. We're going to be back next week with even more Valorant action. And we'll catch you next time. Have a good night, everybody.